met as a staff at the beginning of the school year to talk about this new inquiry model for school improvement. We wanted to identify a specific area of learning that we thought would have the biggest impact for our students here at Queen's Park in terms of academic success. After many conversations with staff, we all came to a consensus that reading was the foundation to support student achievement at our school.
Well, the inquiry model is really a powerful tool for school growth and development because it has allowed teachers the time to get together and collaborate to work on a school-wide goal towards a specific area. In this case, it's students' improved reading abilities. And we have had time scheduled as a staff in staff meetings to discuss and focus, brainstorm on the topic of reading achievement for our students. As a result, we have come up with many various programs, new programs, and from what we had offered to begin with. And the students have been able to take advantage of that. And as teachers, we have seen, even in the past few months, various degrees of improvement.
Sometimes when we look at student progress in terms of reading, it is hard to see their advancements in terms of just looking at quantitative data. And through story and through dialogue of this video, we may be able to tell a better picture for some of our students in terms of how much progress they actually have made at the school and what we're trying to do to meet the needs of all the students.
One of our events that's well supported and that the children really enjoy is the reading picnic. Now, it's not ants and sandwich picnic, it's just books and more books. So we invite the parents to come along. Every class in the school takes part in it. The children bring along their blankets and their teddy bears and stuffies and a bundle of books. It could be books from the library, books from school, a favourite book from home, and we just group together in the gym, all sitting on the blankets, groups of children together, family members, grandmas, aunts, uncles, anybody who can come. And you know, for 20-25 minutes we're just fully engaged in just enjoying reading and exploring the wonder of books. It's a really neat event. It's casual, it's informal, but it's a wonderful opportunity for children just to enjoy reading.
AR, or Accelerated Reader, is basically a reading software program on the computer, and the whole process starts with something called a star reading test. And students take a star reading test on the computer, and the purpose of taking the star reading test is for teachers to get information and assess students' reading abilities, and they use it to set a book level zone so they can match books to students, so we have the right difficulty of book for the right student. Students are free to choose to read any program or any book that they want to read, and after they're finished reading a book, they get to take a quiz on the computer, and the questions can be 5, 10, or 20 questions depending on the length of the book. Students earn points based on the difficulty of the book, the length of the book, and how well they do on the quiz. AR has motivated kids to increase their reading practice because, first of all, it's fun. The kids like taking quizzes and they like earning points, and kids can be competitive and want to do well. We post a bulletin board display where we look at top point earners by grade 3, 4, and grade 5, and the kids like seeing their names on the list and seeing their names move up the list.
AR is one of my favorite things because you get to read to earn points, and the points are for your school, like you earn them to earn up to a goal. AR has helped me read because before I read a lot too, but I've been reading a lot more.
Well, with Accelerated Reader, what I've noticed is that my daughter's reading a lot harder books than she was before. Before it was easy to just pick up a reader and zip through it, but you don't get as many points for that with AR. So with Accelerated Reader, they're encouraged to read the higher level books, and then when they answer the questions correctly, they get more points, which is important to a competitive kid. Intergenerational reading, it's not a new concept, it's a natural concept that's already happening and across the world. What we wanted to have was seniors who, in the average age with this program, are 85 years old, give back into the community, that they're relevant, that their experiences are important, that they have time and they can go back to school and make a difference for these kids. So what I did was approached 2 of the assisted living homes out here and said, is it possible that we can get some people involved at Queen's Park in a reading program? The connection is powerful. We've had lots of staff members walk through and members in the community where they witness what happens. It is so natural. I've had people in tears because it's powerful to see a senior who is in their prime, sitting with a little person, reading a book or playing a board game at the end, and they're being taught by the student, and the student's being taught by the senior.
In a busy classroom, it's really important that other students are involved in helping their peers enhance their reading skills. It's also very important for a teacher to monitor that daily progress. One of the ways we do that the kids really enjoy, and it's a good way for us to monitor, is what we call big buddies, big buddy reading. And the children are paired up with an older partner, and they can either read something that they've written themselves or a book that they are assigned, or even one they've chosen. For the younger reader, inevitably, regardless of the level of reading the older buddy is capable of, they're going to be lower than that. So the younger reader benefits from that as well as the practice when they read. Sort of a side benefit for everyone is that the older student takes on a mentorship role. And on the playground and throughout the school, that really helps the younger student because they know there's somebody older that they can turn to and trust. And so it makes our social relationships outside the classroom stronger as well.
I think that mutual teaching is a skill in itself, and that's one of my favorite things about Queen's Park is acceptance.
One of the ways the students really like to showcase their reading is what we call a wave. And in doing this, the students sort of pop up and down like waves, which is where it gets its name from. And the students have a book of their own choice, and they pick one and only one sentence to practice. So for those of us who do not like to do public speaking, this is great because you can make it a short sentence or you can make it a long sentence. And at the primary level, a lot of students are struggling with what exactly is a sentence. They're confusing a line of print with a sentence. So the student practices a sentence and does it in a wave, and then you can ask the students, well, now do it in a which voice? Or do it as if you're very sad, or do it as if you're excited, or an ogre voice. And the children really love it. Another way for a teacher to do an informal assessment of a child's reading is what we call the reading train. And in this, the children get to pretend they're on a train, because with the reading wave, we know young children like to move even when they're reading, so that incorporates that. And with the reading train, kids love to use their imagination, so this incorporates that. So the students are paired, and the train whistle blows, the passengers get on, one's in the seat, who's the reader, and the new passenger is the listener. And of course we have a student conductor, and the student conductor tells the passengers on the train what he or she is looking for. They could be looking for fluency, and they'll describe what they believe fluency to be: smooth, non-choppy reading, phrased appropriately, appropriate punctuation. Or they could be looking for expression. Is it, does it make sense how they're saying it? They could also be looking for volume. Sometimes an assistant conductor might look for good listening skills. Are you shoulder to shoulder? Are you following the line of print? Are you looking where the reader's looking? Are you giving eye contact? So the conductor goes throughout the imaginary train looking for the star passengers, and the kids really like it.
Having a child here in Queen's Park in grade 1, his reading experiences have been From September to January, not so great. It was quite tough. And the hardest thing was his emotions at home. And that's where it started. Jake started acting out a lot and started having really bad temper tantrums towards his father and I, and we couldn't figure out what was wrong with him. After the Christmas holidays, Mrs. Stewart had approached us about a program that was happening here for literacy, and would we be interested in putting Jake into it. So we took it on, and when he began the program, he was at a level 2 reading level, which wasn't great for a grade 1 student. And he's been in the program now for 14 weeks, working one-on-one with Mrs. McDonald, 45 minutes a day, and he's now at level 10. Huge stride for Jake and great accomplishment. But the best thing was as well is that he became more confident as a person, more confident as a little boy. The temper tantrums at home have stopped. He's excited to do his homework. He doesn't fight us anymore. He can calm himself down and talk things through, and it's all because he was able to read properly and he wasn't frustrated. He's very excited to be able to pick up a book and read to his younger sister, and he's very excited to be able to be at the same place that the other kids are at in his class.
Anytime a child picks up a book, reads it, finishes it without me asking them to go and get books, that's a celebration in itself. If they know that there's a specific book in the classroom and they want to find it, and they ask me, where is the book about something or other, or do you have a book about horses, or do you have a book about dinosaurs, I know that they're engaged in reading, and so that's a celebration to me.
Because if there's like a book or something that you want to learn about, like if something's dangerous or something and you actually don't know it, you can read a book and find out.
A kid is so proud once they have the knowledge to be able to show it to you and for you to say, wow, great job. I mean, there's nothing better than being told you did a great job. Nothing. So as a parent, it's been phenomenal to see the kids, and all of them here at Queen's Park, who enjoy reading.
So we're now at the beginning of an ongoing process. Teachers will continue to come together, discuss, collaborate on our programs, assess them, discuss what's working, what can be improved upon, because we always focus on our goal, and that is providing individual students with the strategies and programs they need to become lifetime learners and readers.
If they're reading a book and they're having a little bit of trouble with it, if I'm helping them to read, I'll say break it up. Like if they're saying stegosaurus, or S, stegosaurus. Ice cream and marshmallow pillows you could eat in your sleep, and rippled old fruit in delicious huge and chocolate milk fountains and chocolate chip trees and the biggest watermelon you ever did see.